everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports.
As we head towards kickoff, two quarterbacks will be on the field today trying to push their team to victory.
It's the Dolphins going up against the Dolphins. With that, let's head on down to Miami, where we'll hand it over to the two men calling our game. That's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Coming up, we've got what can only be described as a mirror image matchup between the Miami Dolphins and themselves. He'll come out in the pistol. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
When I see Cameron Wake make plays like that, I can't help but shake my head sometimes. He had to go to Canada first before he came back to the NFL, where he's now an All-Pro.
Yeah, undrafted out of Penn State, but look at him now.
And just think about all the pass rushing moves he has, his ability to play against the run. Remember, he was a combo outside linebacker, defensive end. Now he's just simply one of the best in the NFL.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now Tannehill. They set up the screen to Ajayi. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
It's hard to play in the NFL now as a running back and not catch the shows. What you can do when you have both of those skills.
Good in space, isn't he?
He really is able to catch the ball, and he helps create blocks downfield. A lot of times that's what people miss. It's not just making other guys miss you. It's setting up guys to block those guys downfield with the moves you make, and Jay Ajayi does that very well.
And a look at the offense that is hoping to put some points up in bunches here in this one. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. Well, there they went blitz defensively, Charles, and things were paved well coming from the linebacker position.
I love the way that you described it, paved well. Oftentimes, the guy who gets home on the blitz, he's going to get all the credit. But his teammates did all the dirty work, right? They ran into people on purpose. They sometimes tugged on jerseys to hold linemen to create space and gaps. And that play finished off really, really well. Well-conceived, well-designed, and even better executed. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. On 1st down, Tannehill. It's caught. Cameron, left side. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Tannehill now. They give to Ajayi. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty. Can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game. Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Time to feature the offensive starters and our first chance to get a look at Parker.
Devontae Parker came out of Louisville with a guy who was known as a mature receiver. Runs routes really well, but the best part of his game, he'll jump over you at the end of a route and go get the football.
It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. As we get a look at the defensive starters, the secondary, they're certainly going to need to be on their toes in this one.
And you know me really well. Where do I start analyzing a game? From the secondary. And these guys have to be on point today. They're facing a high-powered attack. As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this will remain a scoreless game. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
They come out here in the eye. From the 50, it's Tannehill. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Set to take over here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They run with Ajayi. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Again with Ajayi. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. A breakaway for Michael Thomas. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. Huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And out come the Dolphins now. They'll begin the drive with Ajayi. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball,
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Cameron Wake in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Play action. It's Tannehill. Steps away. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
The 15 yards there on the catch and run.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Tannehill on first down. And Cameron has it over the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Tannehill. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and it's a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Again, Tannehill. It's complete to Parker, left side. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Devontae Parker, 27 yards. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from tying up this football game. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And this time they go underneath for a simple pitch and catch.
And not only do you get the pitch and catch, Brandon, but you're able to keep the receiver moving when you hit him with the drag route.
This is Ajayi. And some room to maneuver. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. It's a big play there for Miami. 44 yards on the ground. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And this time they were ready for him as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. The former Bill, Mario Williams, on the stop. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game.
And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers. And on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
Here's Tannehill. And he finds Stills complete. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that third down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a first down.
Third time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on third, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
And the offense in a great spot. It's first and goal from the 3. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On second down, here's Tannehill. They set up the screen to Ajayi. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. He went backwards there 8 yards, and it brings up third down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Third down, still 14 yards left. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Third and long, it's Tannehill. This will be caught at about the 6. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Kenny Stills in the final seconds of the first half. And the Dolphins are in for 6. Now Franks for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Franks now on to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
He's got him in. Complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. Fresh set of downs here. The final shot here before the break. Tannehill finding time. He's going to take another shot here. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken very short. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down. We're still in search of the first down after that last completion. From the gun on third down, Tannehill. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
7 yards to go on second down. Here's Ajayi. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. They're trying to establish that running game, but they're really having trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, when you're running against a really good 4-3 defense, that means you've got big guys inside who control things. Those big defensive tackles are making it very difficult to find open space.
Now Tannehill, and he's got him. It's the tight end Cameron. It'll be a gain of 16 and give him a first down as well.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to...
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now it's Ajayi. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. 8 yards to go here on second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on 3rd down and 9. Back to throw, Tannehill. It's caught, Stills, right side. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll bring up 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Here we go on 4th, Tannehill. They dump off underneath to Ajayi. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. And they're going to speed things up here.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
2nd down and 4.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. Stop right there. Set, blue 10.
Tannehill. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. He was trying to get that one to Kenny Stills, and it's 3rd down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. It's complete. Stills. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They missed a field goal earlier, so possibly as a result, that's why they're going to try to go for it here on 4th down. Tannehill, and he finds Stills, complete. It's a gain of 9 yards. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. And quickly, they get to the line. Tannehill now to throw. And Stills over the middle. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down. And the seemingly endless drive continues. They come out here in the eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football. It's also Dolphin lead to begin quarter number 4. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. Let's see if the defense tries any pressure here on 3rd and 8. Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. Oh, no, he lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They'll try to run with a J. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Jay taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. It's good, and it is now 21-7. Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. Here's Jarvis Landry now on the return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up? Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Michael Thomas. So now here come the Dolphins. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves them needing about 7 here on 3rd down. And in this situation with the lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to.
And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. All right, Charles, as a former defensive back, how disheartening to actually catch it but just not be able to stay in bounds there defensively.
Well, extremely, because you know the rap against us defenders is that we're frustrated offensive guys who can't catch. And he caught it, just couldn't get his feet down in bounds. It's that second part that finished off the play for him.
The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down, and the Dolphins defense is able to hold. And the Dolphins offense now ready to go back out on the field. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And over the middle, this is Parker. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. A good start there on 1st down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That will be the key to this drive.
They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Devontae Parker, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins able to get this back within a touchdown.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, one by land, two by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here. That will be their third and final stoppage as they'll only have the 2-minute warning now remaining. And did the Dolphins get it? Yes! Miami football. So they've accomplished half the mission, Charles. They get the onside kick. They do need a touchdown here, but they've got some time to do it.
In the excitement, there's no need to press. Plenty of time. They have the opportunity. Now they just need to execute and finalize things.
Drops it off to Ajayi. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll bring up a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Shift together here from the D-line. Now Tannehill. He gets it to Sims, complete. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Now it's Tannehill. They dump off underneath to Ajayi. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down in a nice little gain. Time starting to run out here in the fourth. This defense just trying to keep the offense off the board and preserve this potential victory. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Going to give this time to the tailback. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got to stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting.
Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll take this. Now the Dolphins are going to take another timeout here. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there. And it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Tannehill now to throw. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Back to throw. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They're going to hurry back to the line now. He's back to throw. Buying time. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. Tannehill looking to throw. Surveying the field. And he's going to go down. He's sacked before he can get rid of the football. And they remain down by a point. Franks now on to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken near the 13. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. This remains a 1-point game. The defense did their job. Now the offense here late, they just need to kind of hold on, seal this victory.
And the defense did it so well, didn't they? Didn't allow any points and got the ball back for their offense in order to close out this game. What a great feeling for both sides of the ball.
It'll be a better feeling if the offense can just seal this thing. We'll see if they can do it.
You trying to say the defense doesn't want to go back out there again?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted,